for your service. Now I'll give you my backhand. My winner whizzes down the line. Betting weekly tennis live. Are you ready for it? Here we go.
Hi there, welcome to Betting Weekly Tennis Live in association with Bet Rivers. I'm Rory Jiwani. We are Betting Weekly's answer to Bush Tuckerman. And with me is Nigel Seeley. We'll be looking at all the in-play action from the WTA 250 Tour event in Cleveland and the US Open qualifiers. They had a bit of a rain delay earlier, but they are underway in New York. Remember, we want to get your thoughts and comments on the action. And if you like what you hear on our show, sign up for our newsletter. Get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. You can sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Nigel, how are you doing?
I'm very good, Rory. Looking for, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm actually, I'm a little bit, I'm waiting for the major tennis to start now. I'm waiting for the US Open to start. The stop-start nature of these tournaments hasn't really helped me out. I'm not too excited about the 250 action. Qualifiers has never really got me going, and the mixed doubles. Well, let's not even talk about that. So I just can't wait for the proper tennis to start next Monday.
Yeah. Hi to Jean Swart. Hello to you. And got a message here from Leslie Mack. Boulter fade, where we will be looking at that match a bit later on. She plays Katie Boulter, that is. She plays Viktorija Golubic in Cleveland. That's one of the matches at the 250 a bit later on. We can have a bit of a look at some in-play action. All we've got at the moment, as I say, WTA in Cleveland. The action in Monterey starts quite a bit later, and the same goes for the ATP in Winston-Salem. So we can look at Cleveland at the moment, where Talia Gibson has raced through the first set against Jinyu Wang. That's a big shock there in the offing. Wang, she's serving at the start of the second set, 40-15 up, and Wang is plus 145, Gibson minus 195. Wang's actually now 40-30. Solana Sierra against Elsa Jacquemot. That's going with serve, 4 apiece in the first set. And the bookies can't split them. Well, certainly we can't. Solana Sierra minus 113 and Jacquemot minus 115. Very interesting match going on right now between Anne Lee and Iva Jovic. Now, Nigel, Jovic is your pick for the tournament in Cleveland, and she came through that match. We discussed it on the pod. That first round match against Anastasia Potapova, the winner of that had a good chance, and Jovic got through.
She did get through, but she's in a bit of a battle now. She's a breakdown in the match against Anne Lee. The reason I bet her really was because I thought that if she won that match, it would half in price, and she did. She was 14-1. She halved in price to 5-1. Unfortunately, Bet Rivers bettors can't bet on that Jovic match because she's under the age of 18, which I told you.
I couldn't believe this.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that they do in America, and it's something they do in Australia as well. Any player, I mean, it's a Luke Littler when he was doing well in the darts, you couldn't bet on him. Andreeva, Yamal, first goal scorer, markets where they're of underage, they're not allowed to bet on. So Iva Jovic, I've got to hope that we get through. But my saving grace is if she does get beat, I can turn around and say, well, no, let's avoid bet, isn't it? Surely. I'll be honest. I'm only joking, but I have got something in the window that I actually quite like. I actually like Jacquemot to beat Solana Sierra. It was minus 115 a minute ago. She just holds serve at 5-4. She's minus 175. The 2 times they've met before, Jacquemot has won them both. She's been brilliant this week. She's been playing some absolutely. By her, no, she hasn't really played much of a competition really, because it's quite a low event. But she's beaten very, very comfortably the players that she needs to beat without dropping a set. And she's the kind of girl I think could quite do well here in Jacquemot. So I like Jacquemot to beat Sierra. I also like her minus 2.5 on the spread at minus 117. Sierra is serving to save the first set. and I can smell a break here. So I'm going to go Jacquemot here, -175, and Jacquemot -2.5. It was one of the bets I was going to say. The match was competitive when we went live, but obviously you always want to be betting women's tennis players when they're receiving. Never bet a women's tennis player in play when they're serving, because the nature of their match is that they get broken so many times. So now it's the perfect opportunity, even though the line has moved. Never, as a big tip for you there, never bet a women's tennis player when they're serving. Always wait for them to receive.
So there you go, Jacquemot holding serve. She actually knocked out my futures pick, Lin Zhu. I think Lin must have known I'd backed her because she wasn't very good. But Jacquemot did play very well in that match. She's really talented. I think she's reached a junior slam final going back a few years. And she's always been talented, but quite temperamental. And in Cleveland, which isn't playing at the moment as slowly as it has the past 2 years, what impressed me against Lin Zhu was she was staying in rallies, which has often been her problem. She does make a lot of errors. She goes for the big winner. But she was staying in rallies and making winners. So, she's come through qualifying, and she could go a long way this week in as you say, what's quite a weak tournament. So that's Cleveland.
It looks like it's going to be rain. They're coming off of rain in Cleveland as well now. The players, the umbrellas are out. Players are coming off the court. So the live window is being disrupted by the weather. Jingju Wang is +112, and she needs it because she's love 15. Gibson is love 15 on a serve after winning the first set, and Wang is +112. But they're sitting out in the court now, trying to make sure that they can get through to play the game. But the rain is it's not coming down a lot, but the umpire's been down on the court, looked at the weather. So rain in Cleveland, rain in New York. It's a rainy day in America.
It is. Luckily, the rain has stopped in New York. Astra Sharma took the first set against Viktorija Jimenez-Kasintseva, the player from Andorra, who, if my memory serves, she got to the semis of the Wimbledon Girls a couple of years ago. Hasn't really transferred that into the seniors yet, but the Australian Astra Sharma, a set and a breakup now in the second set, 2-1 up, and Sharma's going to be serving. Sharma now -$10, Jimenez +550. Jodie Burrage in trouble against Arantxa Rus. Rus 5-3 up and serving for the set, although it is love 30 on the Dutch woman's serve. Rus -225, Burrage +165. Katie Volanets has taken the first set against Emilia Hona. Volanets -3335, so she's at very short odds to win that, and Hona +1150. Pana Udvardi, the Hungarian, is a set up against Manon Leonard. Udvardi -5,000, Leonard +1,300 to come back in that one. Dalma Galfi, another Hungarian, she is up against Fiona Crawley. Crawley serving to stay in the first set. Galfi 5-1 ahead. Galfi -770 and Crawley +450. Emerson Jones, the very good young Australian, she is 5-4 up against Laura Pigossi, the Brazilian, who's much better suited to clay. Jones -590, Pigossi +375. Jones leads 5-4, and Pigossi is serving to stay in that first set. Jana Fett is serving to win the first set against Tessa Andrian Jacquemot, which is easy.
I'm just going to say something, Rory. The US Open is being rain delayed as well now.
Has that stopped as well?
All this in play stuff that we have now is being there is no play. So there's no play in the live window at all. So the US Open qualifiers have been disrupted by rain. They're sitting out at Cleveland hoping that they can get past this brief storm that's coming in. They're sitting here as if to say, we think we might get away with it. But at the US Open, it's raining again now. And all the in-play action with Bet Rivers has been suspended as well. They're still the prices are still there, but the tennis action is being affected by rain across America now.
That's a bit unfortunate. If it starts again,
I quite like Jodie Burrage, I quite like Jodie Burrage. I mean, there was a bit of a movement for Jodie Burrage today. Arantxa Rus is not playing in particularly well this year. I mean, her record,
and she's a clay court player as well.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't won. I don't think she's won a match indoors. I think she's 0-2, 3-6 on hard, 0-2 on grass. So on the quicker surfaces this year, which you would indoors, grass and hard courts, she's only won 3 and lost 10. So she's won 3 of her 13 matches. Jodie Burrage is in a bit of a slump herself, but there was a bit of money around her in the qualification today. She's love 30 on the Ruche serve. Ruche is obviously serving to win the first set, but now the rain delay might come. It's quite interesting. I think there's good opportunity to back Burrage at plus 165. I think that could be a good trading price. Obviously, that goes against what I said a minute ago when you want to be betting people when they're serving, but the rain delay does have a little bit of an impact on that. But I think Jodie Burrage, that match is not a foregone conclusion at all. I think Jodie Burrage at plus 165 represents a little bit of money, and she's plus 3.5 on the spread as well, minus 136.
Yeah, Burrage is on my naughty step after Wimbledon, I'm afraid. When she lost to Katie McNally, I was very keen on her to win that first round match, and she didn't perform. She's a good player on her day, but just not consistent enough, unfortunately. So no in-play tennis at the moment. I just picked up one of your comments from Jean Swart, who's been on there, saying that Coco Gauff has hired Aryna Sabalenka's biomechanics coach. And we know obviously Sabalenka had issues with her serve. We know Gauff has had issues with her serve with so many double faults. And it's incredible. She won the French Open, beat Sabalenka in the final. And since then, she's barely won a match. I mean, she did get to the semis last week in Cincinnati. But, she's not playing especially well. It's just a bit of a worry with New York around the corner.
Well, you want to hire her. I would have hired her a month ago. What's the point of hiring her now when the US Open starts on Monday? I mean, she's not in the greatest of form. She needs some kind of resurgence, pretty much. New York can get her going. I mean, she's defending champion. She comes in with a little bit of pressure on her shoulders. I mean, we've got the newsletter, the Insider coming out on Friday, the US Open preview, and I'm pretty much certain that she will. I don't think many people are going to be tipping Coco Gauff to win the US Open with the handicappers here. It seems a strange decision now. Perhaps it should have been done before Canada. Maybe get some time to work. What can he or she do to Gauff in a short period of time? I think it's going to take a bit of time because her confidence has gone. So her confidence is completely gone. Next season she might write off this season and come back, but. Gauff, I won't be betting Gauff at all.
Yeah, without giving too much away, obviously Iga Swiatek beat Jasmine Paolini in the final in Cincinnati. Swiatek, US Open winner, perhaps? She's won it before.
Yeah, she's right in form. I mean, arguably, she's playing some of the best hardcourt tennis she's ever had in her career. The Wimbledon win, we said that would she come back? A new coach changed a lot of her game. Looking good, looking very good, right up there with the people to beat. And it's also not going to be a particularly hot US Open. The temperatures will be warm, but they're not going to be extremely warm, which would just suit a Sabalenka or a Rebecca. I would suggest that the courts are playing a little bit slow, which would suit Gauff as well if that went forward. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Swiatek holding that trophy in a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't either. And I think the really interesting thing about Swiatek and the surprising thing, obviously she was a clay court, specialist in some ways. She was very good on other courts. It's almost reversed a little bit now because she looks more comfortable on the hard court, certainly than she has before. And I saw some of her match in the semi-finals against Elena Rybakina. And, Rybakina is one of the best servers we've ever seen. Swiatek's serve is a real weapon now. It wasn't before. The serve is working really well. I remember at Wimbledon, we're looking at the serve speeds. She was right up there with Sabalenka. Her serve speeds are up there, right at the top. So her game has changed a bit. Obviously, she was beaten in Montreal. Now she's won Cincinnati. It's a strange one. I think she's, there are quite a few women who could win in New York, but she's definitely near the top of the list.
Well, that's all for next week. there's a lot of tennis to be coming, but we've still, even though the window is pretty quiet in terms of the rain delay, we've got a lot of action tonight. We've got Winston-Salem, we've got 8 men's matches tonight, which we can, there's some interesting markets on there on the men's markets tonight. There's some interesting markets on the women's as well. Hopefully the rain clears up, but I don't think there's going to be any threat of rain in Winston-Salem in that tournament. So I look at some of the window there. I mean, we've covered a lot of the late matches today. Betting Weekly game bet matches out. So we've covered the Petri Perigard Mula match. We've covered the Diallo Medjedovic and the Sonego match as well. The ones we haven't covered are the early ones. And Sebastian Korda interests me against Majchrzak. I mean, there's a market move for Majchrzak here. And I know Sean was quite keen on him, but Sebastian Korda is, out of all the players, I just got a feeling he might have something to prove tonight, that he's going to be fit. He's had a year absolutely struggling with injuries. It's his first match. This is his first tournament back since the French Open. And, you talk about players who want to go deep this week. A lot of players don't want to go deep. I think Korda might want to be tested a little bit to see if he's fit. So I know for definite that Sean is very keen on Majchrzak here, and I'm not denying that at all. But I quite like the over 22.5 at -122. It wouldn't surprise me to see this 3 sets. Go through a little bit of a workout, get yourself into sort of some match-ready fitness before a 5-set tournament. Make sure you go to New York in a bit of form. And I think that might be a long match. So Majchrzak against Korda is one that interests me a little bit later on. That's 2 o'clock Eastern time. So in a few hours from now, Majchrzak against Korda. Not a few hours from now. It's only, what is it? What's that? It's about 25 minutes from now, isn't it?
Yeah,
about 45 minutes from now. So yeah, Majchrzak Korda, the opening match in Winston-Salem. I like the over 22.5.
Okay, just to give you the odds on that, Majchrzak is +132, Korda -165, and the spread is 2.5 games. But Nigel likes the overs over 22.5 games at -122. We've got a couple of women's games to look at later today. Obviously, with the rain, it could be a lot later. The first one's a US Open qualifier, Petra Marcinko from Croatia against Alina Charaeva. Marcinko is -455, Charaeva +325. The spread is 5.5 games and totals 19.5. And part of the reason I want to flag this up is to flag up Marcinko. She's won her last 11 matches in a row. She won the challenger title on clay in Rome and demolished former French Open semi-finalist Tamara Zidansek on the way. And then she went across the Atlantic, Landisville, Pennsylvania, and won the ITF 100 event. Now she's in New York. In her first qualifier, she beat Xinyu Gao, who's ranked in the world's top 150, 6-2, 6-1. Now she's up against Charaeva, whose best full performances certainly recently have been on clay. Charaeva reached the French Open girls final in 2020. Marcinko won the Australian Open junior title in 2022. Been watching a bit of her. She's got a big serve and a big forehand. And I don't think she's that far away from being a top 50 player right now. She's just outside the 100. And given the way she beat Guo, I think she'll beat Charaeva comfortably as well. So I'm very keen on Marcinko on the spread. And she's even money to cover the 5.5 game spread. So that would be my bet in that match. But it's funny, every time the US Open comes along, obviously we remember what Emma Raducanu did 4 years ago, coming through the qualifiers and winning. I'm always on the lookout for someone on the qualifiers to do a Raducanu. And if anyone, it's very unlikely that will happen again. But I think Marcinko, if she gets to the main draw, she could spring a surprise or two.
Well, you've got any tournament, you're going to get a shock. I mean, this is a tournament you're going to get a shock. I mean, the men's draw is the top 6 in the betting, 5 of them come with injury concerns. The women's draw is, players out of form and not, injuries as well. Long season. This is the one slam that maybe you could get someone like doing what Raducanu does. I don't think you can ever see that at the French Open. I don't think you'll ever see that at Wimbledon, apart from obviously Boris Becker back in the day. But I think those days are long, long gone where qualifiers come through and go all the way. But in the US Open, at the end of the year, and cricket is getting more and more and more bad, that's got to be the way to go. So yeah, I mean, there will be some shots. I think one of favourites, definitely.
So that's one of the matches from the US Open qualifiers. Now we'll head to Cleveland. Again, we're not sure what time this is going to start, but Katie Boulter, by popular request, as well as one of the matches we were going to look at anyway, but Katie Boulter against Viktorija Golubic. Boulter's -139, Golubic +114, spread 1.5 games, totals 21.5. Now, Boulter's been in really poor form of late. She did beat Yuan in round 1, but I don't think the Chinese played all that well. And 8 double faults for Boulter in that match is a worry. Golubic was really good in round 1. She came through. I think she dropped just 3 games in winning her first round match. So yeah, I don't trust Boulter at the moment. I mean, obviously she won, but I'm still not convinced. And I like Golubic here on the money line. What are your thoughts, Nigel?
Well, I gave a very favourable mention to Golubic on the WTA show. I thought that she was one of the seeded players that I thought could do well in this tournament. She's obviously done well previously. She got to the final of Monterey before the US Open. She's a player that is coming towards the end of her career, but playing some very, very good tennis. A win against Bronzetti was a standout performance. It was an excellent performance. Didn't really make hardly any errors. And if you're price led, the +114 of Golubic now currently live with Bet Rivers is the best price on her in the land. So if you are in the Golubic camp, which I am, that's the price you've got to take, because I don't believe it will start that price when the match starts a little bit later on this evening, hopefully later on this evening. They have met twice before. Boulter won in the grass court event in Surbiton, 7-5, 6-2. And Golubic won on a hard court in Indian Wells in qualification. And Cleveland, it's similar kind of conditions to Indian Wells. It's not. I don't think it's as quick as has been over the years. And so, especially with a bit of the weather around as well, I think that might suit Golubic a little bit in this match. So Golubic at +114, pure and simply on the money line. I like that a lot. I'm involved in her obviously on the outright market, as well as Jovic, who's not doing very well. She's 4-1 down before the rain delay, so she needs to come back. And I think Boulter is still a fade, and I still believe that Boulter will look at the US Open, and I do think the prize money there is so big, as I said on the WTA preview show, that I think to herself, well, let's get a couple of games under our belt. Let's get over there, see if we can go on a run. See if there's lots of Brits over there cheering her on. She's I watched her play about 3 years ago on an outside court, and she won the match, and she wouldn't have won the match without the British fans behind her. So there is a lot of Brits who give them support. She's going to be well liked as well. Obviously, she's going to get the Aussie fans as well. They're always at every major tournament as well. And I think that she might prioritise that 110 grand for her to go there, and 25 grand tonight to win this match, 110 to win the first round at the US Open. So yeah, get over there and pick up your paycheck, I would suggest.
Yeah, so we both like Golubic there against Boulter at +114. I've got one other match for us to look at, also in Cleveland. Liudmila Samsonova against Yafan Wang. Samsonova -375, Wang +285. The spread's 4.5 games and totals 20.5. And Samsonova, the top seed, favourite, pre-tournament favourite. She came through 2 tight sets against Caroline Dolehide in round 1. Yafan Wang came through qualifying and then defeated Peyton Stearns in 3 sets. So a bit of an upset there. Wang's had some injury problems. She's been out for a while, but she does like these slower conditions. I mean, I did crunch the numbers earlier. It's not playing as slow as it has in the last couple of years, but Samsonova does prefer it quick. Obviously, she's quite serve dependent. And I think Wang could frustrate her here. So I quite like Wang on the spread, +4.5 games at +102. I mean, when we discussed it, we were quite against Samsonova, weren't we, Nigel, when we discussed the outrights?
Yeah, I mean, she's in the top 20 in the world. She's one player that could, with if it plays quite quick in New York, she could easily get to the second week and she could pick up a huge paycheck. I think she can get to the last 16 quarterfinals quite easily if she gets a favourable draw. So why was she really that bothered about this tournament? I mean, there has been money for her today. I mean, she's been bet quite heavily, and she's down to a very, very low price on the money line, and the handicap has become quite favourable. But she didn't play very well against Dolhide. Not very well at all. Wang beat Peyton Stearns, which was a big win for her. You know, she's probably got qualification as well to go to. I don't know, but I would think that Samsonova here, again, has one eye on a plane heading to New York rather than getting involved in a tournament in Cleveland. I think she's looking at the plane departure times. So, again, I wouldn't put you off the 4.5 on the spread. And even if she does win Samsonova, it's quite hard to cover five games when you're very dominant in your serve. You get a lot of matches that are quite tight sets, 7-6, 7-5. She won her first match this week, 6-4, 7-6. So it's still quite a big number to cover. So yeah, I agree with you on that one as well.
A wonderful producer, John, has updated the prices, as you can see on the screen. Samsonova is a bit shorter now, minus 400, Wang plus 310, and the spread, the bet I like, plus 4.5 games, plus 4.5 games is now plus 108, which is quite tempting, I have to say. And I think, you've hit on a theme for the week. This is the last week before a slam. The prize money on offer is minimal compared to what's going to be an offer in New York. How many of these players are going to be that bothered about going deep this week?
Especially players who think they have a chance of going well. I mean, that was the motivation between the unseeded players that I picked to win the tournament this week, because I thought that their motivation would be much more than the Samsonova. I mean, Samsonova could get to a quarterfinals here. I mean, like very easy last 16. She's going to pick up close on to $400,000. She wins this match, she picks up $25,000. What if she gets injured? I wouldn't be betting anybody at minus $4 in a tournament like this before a major, especially someone who's ranked in the top 20 in the world. So Stefanos Tsitsipas last night was minus $4 against Jacquemot Boo. The price went from Boo all the way down to plus 165 before a ball was even served, from plus 330, and he wasn't at the races at all. That is the problem when you're betting on this kind of stuff. You need to look at a player who's motivated. You probably need to look at people who live locally, or people who've got a large contingent, or people who are going for their first tour victory. That's what the kind of person you're looking at. And Samsonova doesn't fit that bill at all. And she probably could win this match, but there's no way in a million years I'll be betting at minus $4. No way.
No, not at all. Cleveland, as we say, slower courts than perhaps the norm. Different story in Monterey. They're lightning fast. Linda Noshka's Lulu Sun last night, there was not one break of serve. Went to 2 tie breaks. And Sun served 21 aces. And Noshka, I think she was double figures as well, 13. So a word of warning for Monterey backers. Overs might be the way to go on games, because just very quick.
Just one thing I will just say. I'm just looking at the draw here for Cleveland. So if you get beat in round 2 of Cleveland, you get $4,470. Now that probably get your airfare to New York. With her team, she's going to have a team $4,400. That'll pay her airfare. If she wins tonight, she gets an extra $2,370. That's what she's playing for, $2,370. If she goes on to win the tournament, she picks up $36,000. She loses in the first round of the US Open, she picks up $105,000. $2,150. I mean, she's not. Come on, she wants to play. It wouldn't surprise me. She'll get through a game tonight, probably get beat the next round, and then jack it in and come back. You need players here that want to win a tour title, and Samsonova for me is a fade at the prices.
Yeah, so those are the prices. Samsonova -$4. Steve from Lynn just got my US Open tickets for day session on the 1st. Can't wait.
I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm there the first as well. We're there the first, Steve.
There you go.
I'll be there on the no, I'm not. I'm there. Yeah, hang on. That's the Monday. I'm there on.
You're not sure.
Is that the Sunday? I think it's the Sunday. The first is I haven't got a count. I think the first is the
I
Sunday.
think first is Monday or Tuesday. Hang on.
Because I'm seeing Oasis on
it's the first. It's the Monday. First is a Monday.
I'm not. I'm there on the Sunday. Also there on the Thursday.
There you go. Saw another comment from VillaFan20, our mate Adam, who says he backed Boo, or something like Neil saying he got back prices in isolation. Picking up tips from Neil Channing on the dojo, and our Villa fan cashed on Boo. I mean, who would be backing Tsitsipas at such a short price anyway, given the form he's been in? I mean, yeah, no.
Huge fall from grace, isn't it? Gone from like number 5 in the world, like 1,000 winner, to now just hanging on to a spot in the top 32 in the world, and probably going to crash out of that after the US Open. A real sad state of affairs from Tsitsipas, but he's the kind of player who can go on a roll in New York and could easily make it through to the last 16 quarterfinals. He's got the talent. See what we can do.
Yeah, he's got the talent, but maybe not the mentality to be a very top player.
But he's fallen in love. Women, he's fallen.
Well, they split, didn't they? I think they split.
They're back again.
Are they back again? Oh,
he's got some money. He's fallen in love. Happens to us all, Rory. I was flying before I met Mrs. S. Absolutely buzzing, loving life. And then it all went wrong. You fall in love, you're young, you're impressionable. Then you realise about 5 years later, hang on a minute, I've got to get back to the day job. This is all a bit too much.
AZ Flights with a comment. Marino first set. She's playing Hontama, the Japanese, in the US Open qualifiers. I mean, the quicker the better it is for Marino. She is the favourite against the Japanese there, and yeah, first set. I wouldn't put you off that. Obviously, both coming through their first qualifiers, both taken to 3 sets. But Marino, certainly in the twilight of her career, not bad on grass. She's better on quicker surfaces. Right, I think that is probably it for today. Apologies, lack of in-play action. The weather gods have been against us. Remember, sign up to the Betting Weekly newsletter and follow us on social media at Because We Win. We've got the newsletter dropping on Monday, BW Insider on Friday. Obviously, this week, as Nigel says, it's a US Open special. You can sign up for free at www.bettingweeklystudios.com. Nigel, thanks for your company as always. Anything you're particularly interested in the next day or two, tennis-wise, or is it just all about US Open?
Yes, it's like this is a time of the year with tennis where it just sort of like, it fizzles out. All the players are just going through the motions, and the business end comes on Monday. I can't wait to do the shows. The draws tomorrow. We're live on the draws tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing a live show at 12 o'clock on Betting Weekly Tennis Live. It'll be myself. It'll be Tim Dennis. And also we have Mitch Michaels as well doing the draw. So that we have that as well. So that'd be quite fun. I'm just interested there what Leslie Mack says. While in New York, don't miss the Feast of San Gennaro. Is that on next week? Because I've just Googled that. It says it's the 20th of August. So that won't be when I'm in New York. But I'm quite intrigued to find out what that is. So if you can let me know what that is, I'd love to know what it is and if it was worth going. But we've got a busy schedule in New York. We're at the tennis, obviously, Oasis concert, going to see The Who. Madison Square Garden, going to the college.
The Garden, that'll be good.
Stairway to Seven has actually got me a ticket to go to the college game, the Navy game as well. He's in the group there as well. We're going to MLS football, do a bit of karaoke, obviously. And we're going to be, so you can follow all that on our Instagram account at Because We Win. So it should be good.
There you go. When do you fly out, Nigel?
Wednesday. Sean's out on Sunday or Monday, and I fly out next Wednesday.
Oh, well, safe travels and enjoy New York. Always a great tournament, of course, and you've got plenty going on besides. Thank you for your company. Thanks for watching on Betting Weekly Tennis Live. And make sure you tune in tomorrow for the draw, which will be about an hour before now. It's at 12 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you join Nigel, Tim and Mitch for the draw. And then myself and Nigel will be looking ahead at the outrights on Friday, and we'll have our best match bets in round 1 on Saturday. Same deal for Sean, Nigel and Sean on the ATP show game bet match. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon on Betting Weekly Tennis Live.